Hello, and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 164 of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Caduce Campbell, sitting here in the beautiful Red and United Kingdom. Um, and I'm talking to the beautiful Roger Bergstrom all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. Rog, how are you doing this fine day?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. Sitting here, haven't really changed clothes yet. I just realized I have my pajamas trousers. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. We talked
hmm
about that before. We can choose however we want to represent ourselves, I guess, especially
hmm
when it's a non-visible kind of
Uh,
device we're
yep.
talking through here. But no, it's good. It's actually good. I think though it's gonna be a bit of rain here today.
hmm
Yesterday was nice weather, and I could
hmm
feel when me and Isaac took the walk after lunch that we usually do that it's a bit of spring in the air. I mean, it's trying. It's
hmm
trying at least.
Just trying to
What?
survive.
Yeah, trying to survive. We're trying to move on into the period of time when it's kind of focuses on growth, and I'm talking about the nature now.
hmm
But eventually we will be there, so that's at least good. And of course, I guess you probably also felt and seen that the days are longer now. I mean, light comes earlier, and the evenings are kind of longer before getting like really dark.
I've honestly not been
So,
paying attention to it, to be honest.
oh, you have it, okay? Yeah, but I can see it. I can definitely see it. So that's nice. But on the other hand, this weekend, oh my God, once again, we're changing our time, our
Oh,
our our clocks. It has to change
I
like one
can't stand
hour.
that.
Me neither. Me neither. We talked about that many times in this podcast through the years.
hmm
And I remember reading about it a few years ago that they were about to talk about this in EDU and also decide whether, yeah, is this going to continue or not? And I thought this year would be the year when we finally can stop doing that shit. So essentially, what's going to happen is that we're going to move the time 1 hour forward on.
hmm
I think it's on like is it Sunday or the night between Saturday to Sunday maybe,
hmm
which literally means that we lose 1 hour. It's like, oh God. So one way of remembering this,
hmm
at least for me, what to do when it comes to spring and also later than fall, is that
hmm
springtime, you also since you get better weather and you start to put out your maybe some furniture that you have like on the backside of your house for
hmm
barbecuing. I don't know. So then you put that out. That's forward, right? Then you know,
hmm
okay, so the clock's going to go forward. And then the opposite around in fall. Well, it's getting colder. You can't sit outdoors any longer in this climate. So back in with the with the chairs and yeah, everything. So then the time has to go back 1 hour.
hmm
Yeah, that's the gist of it. But
The shameful
ki-
display.
kind of unnecessary thing if you ask me.
hmm
Uh, but uh, but that's that. That's the like a general thing. It's kind of good. But what about you? I mean, you've been going. Last time your family has had like chicken pox, and you thought that you got it yourself. And what has happened after that?
So I guess the chicken pox has been it has served its time so far, right? It seems
Yeah.
that it has done its time, and apparently I am not sure if I got it or didn't.
Mm,
Because at one point after I guess after we spoke last week, I think I was not feeling well. But
yeah.
I got sick for like a day. It feels like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was more than that. Like I can't remember it being longer than a day. But I got sick for what seemed like a day. Um, and I've since recovered. Like I went cycling. I think the day I started feeling sick, I rested. And I think this is one of the most important things I keep trying to reiterate to people. When you're feeling sick, rest your body. Like I think a lot of people try
Yeah.
to like they're like, oh,
Exactly.
I'm gonna just take medication and it's gonna solve the problem.
Yeah,
That
and they
is
continue to push themselves through
yes.
it
hmm
instead of doing the opposite. I know. Mm.
Exactly. You medicate and then you push through the day. And I think that is not healthy. Like I think honestly
Mm.
speaking, that's how you end up staying sick longer. Right?
True.
So for me, what I do is I get some rest. Like I take the day and I just sleep, you know.
Mm.
And then once I've rested like the whole day, I don't do anything else. I'll probably have some water, stay hydrated, and then go and sleep and rest the entire day. Just all day. And then by
Yeah.
the next day, I'll probably get some exercise and I'm good. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, basically that's kind of how my day my time being sick has been. I was fine the day after,
Mm,
and during the week I just, my health just increased more and more, and I've just been regular me, regular activity, regular stuff.
good.
The rest of the family, Ty's been, well, his personality is the same. I mean, he's been coughing a lot. He's got a lot of what seems like phlegm in his throat. He seems to be quite like having that sickness from since then. But I think there's a flu going around. Like, I honestly believe there's a flu going around because everyone in the family kind of got a cough. So Zavi got one, I got one, Ty got one, Alex, Ali, you know, who else? I think Lex had one as well.
Mm.
So pretty much almost everyone had a cough at some point or the other. And and then in the end, I think Lex was probably the first to recover, like to go back to like normal, and then it was probably me. And yeah, that's kind of been it. So this week has been chill. Nothing really too crazy or something like that. My niece had a birthday party.
Uh-huh.
That was fine. Ty had his a couple weeks ago, so it was like,
Yeah,
they're both in
yeah,
the same month. Then um we had, what do you call it? I think for her party I cycled to where it was because I was like,
yeah.
man, I
Hmm.
need my exercise. Gotta burn in my time essentially.
Mm.
And yeah, got my exercise in. It was great. And now it's how what's the best way to put it? Now my sister and her partner Eric, they've been like, they're on vacation basically, so they've been going around and all that kind of stuff. And yesterday we went to visit this friend that my sisters made when they first came to the UK. And we've all, how can I say, sort of remained close. So when my sister came back, she was like, "Hey, I gotta go see our friends and all that kind of stuff. Are you coming with?" And I was like, "Yeah, might as well, So, but the thing though is that we get on the train to head to London yesterday, and my brother calls me and he's like, "Q." I was like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "Am I on speaker?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, let me just say something, right?" He's like, if I were you, I'd find a way to ditch these guys so they can get some personal time. Referring to my
Okay.
sister and her guy. And the thing is that I was like, bro, I've already like, and for me, it was like I had already planned to, like, just get on my laptop and get some work done, and they can go sightseeing because they were talking about going sightseeing. I'm not in the mood to sightsee, right? I have work to do, so I had my laptop already on me. I was like, mate, I've got my laptop on me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and my plan has been for, while they're sightseeing, I'm gonna go and sit down at a cafe. So he was like, great. I get off the phone with him. My sister-in-law calls me right after. She's like, Q, am I on speaker? I was like, you're gonna tell me the same thing Lex just said, aren't you? She's like, yeah, I know. So
Okay.
we basically sat on the phone and chatted for the whole, like, most of the trip heading to London. We just her and I just chatted for a nice long trip. And then yeah, got into London. They were in, my sister and then were planning to go sightseeing before they went to visit our friends. But by the time we got into London, we got on a slow train. And getting on that train basically got us where we were going, but we got there just before we were intending to get there. So we didn't end up going sightseeing. We ended up going straight to their house, met them, greeted, hung out with them and their family. Was wonderful. Ate some fish and chips. And then after that, we ended up heading back to London to, like, well, we were in London essentially, but we headed up back to like the center. And my sister and them went to go to the London Eye. She kept trying to convince
Mm.
me to come with them, but I was like, nah, like, you guys go. I really need to catch up on some work, which was true. So I went hunting for a coffee shop, which was quite a challenge, but I found the most wonderful sort of like bakery slash coffee shop called Gales, I think was the name of it. And It was wonderful. It's the
Mm.
best way to put it. Like the shop owner who was there, she was it was a lady and a guy there, and they were both very nice. You know, they're very the place had a sort of like an uptown kind of like vibe to it. So I went there and sat down, plugged in my laptop because I tried quite a couple other places, and no one had a place where I can sit down and plug in my laptop so I can get some work done while I was drinking some tea or coffee, which I did have coffee. And I basically just chilled there for up until 6, which is when they closed. And then I went off again to find another place where I could go and basically just like sit and then plug in my laptop and chill because my sister and them were still off doing whatever they were doing, and their sightseeing explorations. And I was looking forward to just chilling on my own, getting some time to just kick back and catch up on work, so I think the other place I went to was called Grit or something, I think it was called.
Mm.
um, so it was another coffee shop. This one was the way they described it, at least the sign on the wall. I'm actually trying to see if I can find the picture on my phone so I can read it for you. Um, so sorry, it's not Grit. It's called The Glitch. That's the other place called.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so it says here, cafe bar creative space, and you go in there, and it's sort of like the best way to put it. It's like hmm, it's like a very hipster vibe kind of place in there. You go in there
Okay.
and the furniture looks um very modern in a kind of hipstery way. It's very chill, nonchalant kind of vibe. The baristas and stuff inside there have that same sort of mellow, chill vibe about them,
Mm.
and just the music playing and everything. They're talking about they have like stuff going on downstairs on certain nights and all these sort of events and stuff they have there, and they like make yourself comfortable wherever you feel like, and you just seen people in there just sitting down all dressed in colorful clothes and just seeming very chill, and I just felt at home. I was like, this
Mm.
place is awesome,
Oh, good.
so I went in there. They closed at 11 p.m. I wasn't there till 11 though. But wonderful place. I'm gonna send you some pictures, Rod, so you can see what the two places I went to look like. For those of you who follow me on social media, I did post about it on Instagram yesterday. So
Ah,
anyone who
good.
was if you want to know what I'm up to sometimes when I'm out and about,
Exactly. It's Instagram, right?
it's Instagram, buddy. That's where you find those things because I post this sort of stuff on
Mm.
my gram. Um, and when I'm not when if other than that, it's basically, yeah, it's either you know me and we talk about it like I'm talking to
Yeah,
Rod
yeah,
right
yeah.
now on the podcast, or it's on Instagram. So yeah, essentially had a wonderful time in London. And one last thing to add to my week, and I guess you could consider this the highlight of the week. um I'm on Facebook sometime, I think was it the day before, I was on Facebook. And essentially I see Tim's wife posting that they're going that like they're getting to an
I
airport.
think I know. Yeah,
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 you know
right.
what's going on with
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I saw it. Yeah, yeah. Go on, go on.
So Tim's wife's posting that they're going to Portugal through London. To which I respond to her post. I was like, "Wait, sorry, what? You guys going to Portugal through London and no one told me anything?" No, I seem to keenly remember Tim mentioning something to me that they were planning to take a trip like this.
Ah, okay.
But this was like probably months ago, so
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
basically forgot about it. And so when I saw his wife mention it, I was like, holy crap. So I ended up leaving, like I ended up sort of like chatting with Tim's wife and arranging like I'm gonna come and meet you guys here. And she's like, are you sure? Like you don't have to put yourself out and stuff. I was like, nope, I'm coming. So I booked the next train, headed out to London Heathrow Airport, and basically met up with them. And this was actually the first time I was meeting Tim in person, so it was so cool to just like see him in person. And the thing though is, I think the novelty of meeting someone who I've known for years on through the internet, through online, um and see, being around them in person, the novelty of that wore off when you and I met in person. So essentially when you and I met in
Yeah.
person, it was so what's the word for it? It was surreal. But
Yeah,
because of the fact that I'd already done it with like I'd already met up with Mario before in the same sense, and then
yeah,
you and so forth. This time around, for me it wasn't as surreal. It was like, oh, it's cool to have Tim here, but it wasn't like it wasn't the same as when, like, like it's sort of like, oh my god, wow, like I didn't like the sort of like iconic kind of like, wow, like you're standing next to me kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But Tim said like it's kind of strange like having you there, your voice there with you there next to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think I mentioned, it was the same when you and I met up. But I think,
Mm.
after having that experience, a couple times, now it's sort of just like, I'm just enjoying the time, just enjoying chatting with him, and
Yeah, yeah,
not really thinking about like, oh, it's so iconic and
yeah.
cool, and so it was just fun. And so it was him, his wife, and their kids. And when I asked him, I was like, Tim, why did you guys decide on Portugal? And he said basically, essentially, like the kids are getting older. His daughter's just turned 18. His son is getting older as well. So at some point, like his daughter's at college, and at some point, the son will probably be heading off to college as well. So he was saying like they wanted to do some to start like a tradition essentially, where they
Oh
travel
yeah,
together with the kids, kind of like something that you do with your boys.
yeah, yeah,
And just sort of like every year they go on a vacation together somewhere as a family, and that way they can kind of maintain that sort of thing.
mm.
And I found that so cool. I was like, that is
Yeah,
such
indeed.
a
Yeah,
brilliant
good.
idea. Um, and so they went on a little vacation as a family. So essentially, if they maintain this, even if they drift apart over the years, the kids have their partners, they move on, they're living somewhere else or whatever have you. If they can continue it, it would be a nice tradition to keep them as a family unit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
close, despite the fact, because it's
Mm.
like when you guys go on trips, even though Adam doesn't live at home, he joins in and you guys go on a trip together, and that's so cool.
Yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
for
I'm happy that we have been able to keep that one going so far. I mean, eventually it will probably stop, but so far
Mhm,
we've been able to keep it up like that.
mhm,
I mean, the last years has been different though due to Corona and everything, but
mhm,
still we have been doing. I mean, even though that when it was Corona, and especially since Sweden took another kind of approach, it wasn't a lockdown.
mhm,
We could at least have our vacation in Sweden, so to
mhm,
speak. So we did things like that. But
mhm.
it's true. It's a good thing. It's nice to hear, and also that I guess you went out to the airport literally to
Yeah,
meet
I
them. Then, yeah.
literally just and the thing is they were only there for like 3 hours, so we
No, okay.
literally just our hangout basically consisted of me chatting with them by the arrival area, and
Yeah.
then walking with them towards the next gate where they needed to go to get the next flight.
Sure.
And then so I met them at Terminal 5, and then we moved to Terminal 3.
Wow.
And
Oh
then
God.
once they got to Terminal 3, we chatted for a little bit longer, and then we
Hmm.
said our goodbyes, hugged and all that kind of stuff, and then
Sure.
they got on the next flight, and then the strangest thing happened. I leave, head back home, and then I see on Facebook that Tim's wife has posted that they're still in London. Apparently, they got on the plane and the flight started to smoke,
Oh,
and
what?
yeah, like the strangest things. They started to smoke, and so they had
Okay.
to head back to London, and they
Oh,
got fish and chips, and I guess they left later in the afternoon, because I think
yeah,
they finally,
probably.
I think they finally got to Portugal at 6. Sorry, not 6, sorry, at 12 midnight.
Oh, okay.
And if you get to Portugal at like 12 midnight from a trip like that, it must mean that you stayed in London, probably till up to maybe after 11 the next that same night, essentially, because
Yeah.
um, from London to Portugal is not that far. I think
No.
it's probably not longer than maybe about 2 hours, if so much, a trip. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to think. How long does it take to fly from from like London to Sweden to Stockholm? Is it that
it
like?
wasn't a
Is
long
that
flight.
is that is it 3 hours?
So London to Portugal is 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're going to Lisbon, which I believe they did go to Lisbon. To
Hmm.
Sweden, then it's gonna be about 3, I think.
I think it is, yeah,
Let me
if I
see.
remember correctly.
It's less. It's 2 hours
It,
and 26 minutes to Sweden. So
oh,
it's
okay,
less time to
like
Sweden than
two
Portugal.
and a half ish. Yeah, look at
Yeah,
that. Yeah, in a way, it
exactly.
makes sense if you think about the geographic, like the map and everything.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
for
just
you,
kind of
it's
going up.
it's yeah, exactly. It's exactly like a diagonal, but still a bit up, and the other way is a bit down to the right. So
Yeah. So you know, in my
okay,
mind, Portugal seems so much closer though. Like when I visualize Portugal in relation
yeah.
to London, I kind of picture it being closer than Sweden is, which is the weirdest thing. Um, but yeah, anywho,
Well,
they got there safely in the end. They're in Portugal right now enjoying themselves.
good.
And Tim's wife has been, regularly updating the rest of us in the world in her friend group via her Facebook her Facebook account, so we can see what's going on their trip essentially. But yeah, essentially
That's nice.
they're on
Yeah.
vacation. So that was the highlight of my week, I guess, was going and meeting up with them. There was some other stuff that happened, like meeting up with our friends. They had some family over, and it just they're Trinidadian as well, and we just had
Aha.
some really cool conversations around the table and stuff like that. And that was also a great
Mm,
highlight. But I think if I had to like rank everything, I think meeting up with Tim and his family was probably the highest highlight of the week so far. So yeah, we had a good time. That's
good.
generally been my week. What about you, Raj?
Yeah. First of all, it's so nice to hear. It's been a very social week, apparently.
Mhm.
Some things planned for you, and some like just came up like that. I really, those moments are really nice. I'm referring to the airport and Tim and his family.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I have been very antisocial, and and I've been just caring about myself.
The perfect type of week. Oh.
Exactly. You know, it's great.
Mhm.
No, not really. You know me, but it's no, it's been a good week though. It's been I've been continu I don't know. I've just been feeling good, and I've been continuing to be productive in on all fields that
Mhm.
I'm producing stuff, so to speak, and got some recognition when it comes to the music, and I got another sale, and it was also I saw for the first time that the service that I'm using when it comes to Content ID works because it
Mhm.
found a video that was using my music. Although I believe that I'm pretty sure that it's kind of fun to start to see that, you know,
Mhm.
like a British company actually that
Mhm.
was using one of my songs in the background for their presentation and everything.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure he's legit because the version, I mean, he most likely have bought a license because
Right.
I'm pretty darn sure because the version you know I've told you I make edits out
Mhm.
of songs, and this was an edited version. It was no melody,
Mhm.
so then I know, okay, good, but I don't have to worry about that because they can identify, take care of this. I mean, he can
Mhm.
claim, just show the kind of receipt you might say when it comes to
Mhm.
buying, then good, they well, the claim is off, and then everything moves on.
Mhm.
So that's basically how it works. But it's nice to see also when you get it like yeah, you see that, okay, oh good, it's used like that. I guess that this is gonna become more common later on when I get even more stuff out there.
Mhm.
But no, so that's been nice. And I've also been in contact back and forth when it comes to Adam, you know, since
Mhm.
he will move in the beginning of this summer to
Mhm.
his to the new apartment that he bought.
Mhm.
So he has everything is fixed, like with the business side of things. He bought the yeah, curtains in
Mhm.
the apartment, since it's like high, like I think it's all like 4 meters up to the ceiling.
Wow.
So it's, yeah, so they're custom made. I
Mhm.
said try to buy them if you can because it's just going to be a hassle for you to fix that afterwards,
Mhm.
like from the former owner. And
Mhm.
he seems to be a nice guy, so that was not a problem. He got a good price. He
Mhm.
got a ladder too, so he can climb up and change the light bulb.
Mhm.
He also actually, yeah, he bought some paintings. There were some
Mhm.
special paintings in the apartment that looks really good on those tall walls, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So he is buying them too.
Mhm.
And then yeah, yesterday I was in contact with him because on Saturday we will do like some major work, not
Mhm.
crazy or something, because he doesn't have that much stuff,
Mhm.
as mentioned before. but we will. He has been, or he's doing that now. I think
Mhm.
renting a bigger, like small, like bigger van,
Mhm.
so we can get his bed and his desk, and what else? His bed.
Mhm.
Apparently, those kind of three are the three major things
Mhm.
that he has in this apartment that he's living right now. Where he's living right now. So we're gonna bring that home here. So from Saturday, Adam's gonna most likely start
Be
to
home.
be home. He's coming back home, the little boy.
Oh, it's gonna be cool. You know what?
Yeah.
That means he's bringing all. Is he bringing all his gear with him, like all his tech and
Oh
stuff?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know what you have to do, right? You know what
yeah,
you have to do. You have to just sort of like, welcome the tech in and be like, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home. Don't leave, just yeah, just invite it in, make sure the PC is comfortable, make sure it can put its feet up, have a cup of tea,
yeah.
make sure
Exactly.
make sure the
He starts to
PS5.
get yeah. He starts to get a bit suspicious. Why are you asking all these questions? Oh no, it's just I just want my sons to have a I want you to feel good about things. And do you want some hot chocolate maybe? I haven't asked
Yes.
him that since he was like 9 years old, but
Oh,
okay. Uh,
beautiful
yeah,
times,
beautiful times indeed. But
indeed.
no, yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be special. I mean, he hasn't been living here for years,
Hmm.
so him coming back into the house. I wonder what Isaac thinks. I haven't really asked him. Oh God, my bigger brother is coming back.
I
Like,
think I
no,
think it's
they're
not
coming
gonna be
along
any of
well.
that because
No, no,
from
no.
what I saw when I visited you guys, they
Yeah,
seem to have a really cool dynamic between the two of them.
they have.
So
Yes.
I could not imagine anything but them just having
No,
a grand old time essentially.
no.
So yeah, which is good. I think when you have siblings and you get on well with them, like I do with my siblings and they do as well. I think it's great. I think you obviously you've got the competitive side of things, or you banter and stuff like that. Like my brothers and I, we are
Mm.
always going at each other in a sort of a sort of similar fashion. We're always teasing each other and stuff like that. Like the other night we went bowling with my sister's bloke Eric, and it was just banter the whole night. Everyone ganged up on
Yeah.
me essentially, which is commonplace. I mean, everyone wants to take down the best, so it's all good. Um,
Exactly. It costs to stay up there on the top, you know. It's
eh,
like the wolves and the sharks are always there, you know. It's
it's it's lonely at the top, as they say, where the air
true.
is
It's
crisp.
windy. No, no, but that's great to hear. As you say, as long, yeah, yeah, when you have that kind of thing going on, the banter and everything, but but still made with like love and respect, then it's all good. And I think,
Hmm.
as you described it, even though you weren't here for long, you could spot that easily that they're good brothers.
Hmm.
They have a lot of things in common as well. And
Hmm.
even though they have grown now and have grown a bit apart from each other to a certain extent,
Hmm.
they still have it, and I can see it.
Hmm.
Sometimes it comes on, also when Adam is here for a Saturday
Hmm.
dinner or something,
Hmm.
and it's nice to see. It makes you really happy as a parent to see
Hmm.
that. uh,
Yeah,
it means a lot, to be honest, because
it
it kind
does.
of gave me the feeling. I had one of those moments. I think was that last Saturday
Hmm.
when they were, I don't know what they were doing, just fooling around, both of them.
Hmm.
And I felt like, I mean, I'm not that old, but I felt that, okay, I'm at ease. I'm like,
Hmm.
I can relax,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can feel that, okay, this is working. It's fine. It's good.
I think it's
I
sort
don't.
of a mindset of like, if anything were to happen, you feel safe in the mindset of like they'll be fine, because they'll have
Exactly. I
each other's
think that's
back.
it.
They'll be each other's sort of like
Support and
support.
help each other, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it, because I think in a similar way, like my mom expresses a similar thing, I guess, with regards to like my sisters and I.
Yeah.
And I look at Xavi and Ty. I mean, they're still young, but I mean, when Xavi's away, Ty's like, oh, I miss him and stuff like that. And
Mm.
when Xavi gets home, he's he plays with Ty and they have a grand old time and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so it's important, when you have siblings,
Yes.
or when you have kids, it's important for them to sort of keep a close enough bond and
Mm,
form that relationship with each other, because then it's again the relationships you have is what really matters at the end of the day. Like you can
true.
everything else could go at the end of the day. The
Yeah.
world could come to go to ruin. You could have a flood and lose everything. But as long as you've got family in your corner and you've got wonderful people there to support you and stuff like that, hey, that's it. That's all you need to survive. Well, that and food.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
chances increases to actually get that food if you have that
Indeed.
kind of, yeah, that
Mhm.
tribe feel within the family and everything.
Yep.
It is true. It unites and it strengthens you and it strengthens the rest of the crew.
That is so
So
true.
yeah, it is very true. This is very important things, I believe,
Mhm.
and I think it's even more. It starts to become even more and more important
Mhm.
in times where it's very easy to get lost, and especially as a young person
Mhm.
nowadays, it's so much happening around you in many ways,
Mhm.
and there's so much to think about, and so many like ways to study or careers to choose from, and the
Mhm.
pressure from, well, mostly yourself, I guess, but also everyone around you and what people think about
Mhm.
you when you're in that age, if that matters. And it's then it's important to have those bonds, those maybe a sibling, a family member that you can rely on and maybe
Mhm.
talk about these things as well, even.
Yeah,
But it's
definitely.
yeah, it's
And
the good stuff.
what's the thing? When I was younger, I remember this saying my mom always used to say, like, birds of a feather flock together. And
Ah, mm-hmm,
when I think about it, like, of the friends that I have now, at the stage I am in my life, pretty much all of my friends are very like they've got good relationships with their siblings or their family in that regard.
mm,
And they're very family oriented in that sort of way. Like
mm,
I look at Tim and his family, I look at you and your family, I look at Caden and his family and so forth,
mm,
and even like when I consider like one of my newest friends, Hans,
mm,
um he's got a very good sibling dynamic with his sister.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he cares deeply for her. He always wants to like look out for her and stuff like that. And then there's the relationship he has with his daughter. So yeah, it's like bits of a feather, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good expression. I haven't really heard about it,
Yeah.
but it makes sense. I mean, we have similar sayings in Swedish, but it's a bit different.
hmm
But I think yeah, it comes down to that.
Yeah.
I think, as you said, at the end of the day, it comes down to that. And I
hmm
think we also talked about the fact before we move on that,
hmm
especially I can talk for myself, when
hmm
you get older,
hmm
you're kind of, I'm not saying that you're losing friends,
Yeah.
but you're narrowing your friend circle, if
hmm
that makes sense to a certain degree. Because as you know, with time, certain
hmm
friends you have for a certain time because it's that period in your life,
hmm
and maybe 1 or 2% of them maybe stay all the way, all
Yeah.
through the your life. That can happen.
hmm
But what I'm trying to say is that when you get older, you also realize that it's even more important with the like really really like good friends that you have,
hmm
and you want to make sure that how to put it. Well, they are important for you.
hmm
That's what I'm getting for. It doesn't mean that it's not important before, but before, as I say, you move through life and you meet people to maybe the left and right, and
hmm
you may make like new acquaintances, and as said, it's a part of the life cycle and rhythm. But
hmm
I think when you're getting a bit older, yeah, I can see that. Me and Annalie talked about it. It's the same for her. I
Yeah.
mean, but the few, it's so almost tragic, but it's not. It's not. Believe me. But the few that you have, they are really really good friends. The
Yeah.
ones that you can turn to, whatever it might be, and you can be off not talking for 6 months and
hmm
then you do it again. It's like yesterday, or even 2 years, whatever have you. It's like it's the same, if you know.
Yeah.
So, mm,
Those are the
that
ones that that really, I guess you could say, really matter as well. And
yeah,
I
it's
think the way to look at it as well is that, because it's not, it's like, and I like the way you put it, like, like some friends are there for like a time and then it goes on. And I think it's because either you outgrow people or they outgrow you. That's basically it.
yes,
So at the end of the day, it's for the friends that you do stick with for the long haul, it's because you're both going at the same pace, essentially. You're going in the
yeah,
same
yeah,
direction. So yeah,
true.
that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
So
Okay.
let's talk about some video games.
Yeah, let's talk about video games. Well, I gotta start to ask you because I know, I mean, apparently also regard due to your, I would say, due to your social week, which is
hmm
has been a beautiful week in that sense. Have you been able to play anything?
Not really. Other than like the occasional E, or that game that I was playing last week, which was,
Yeah.
what was the name of it again?
Yeah, what
Bloody.
was the name of the game? I was just thinking myself.
Bloody
You
well
said it.
forgotten. It is bloody, it's the guys who made Neo and Neo
Mm-hmm.
2, Koei Tecmo, and
That
I
I remember.
should remember the name of their game while I slowly open my Xbox app on PC to see the name of it. Oh, it's Wolong, Fallen
Ah,
Dynasty. So I played a
there we
bit
go.
of that in the week as well. But the game I do want to talk about this week is not something that I've started playing, but a game that I received for review. Haven't played it yet, but I have a review copy, and it is currently sitting at a very positive on Steam right now. Came out on
Oh,
March
good.
the 10th. Developer is Arrow Winks, if I'm correct. Let me see if I can read that
Mm-hmm.
properly. Arrow is. My eyesight is crap.
Okay.
Publisher is Prime Matter. The game sort of type is a anime visual novel detective JRPG 3D type game.
Ooh la.
Now I'm not 100% sure how this game functions per se, because I haven't actually really played it yet. So to fully understand how the mechanics work, I'm not sure yet, but it kind of seems like a turn-based sort of like RPG sort of adventure kind of thing, like Persona kind of vibe. But
Yeah.
I will find out more when I play it, right? As for, it's on Steam right now. I believe it's also available for the Switch. I'm not sure what other platforms it's for. The name of the game though is, because I'm starting to realize I haven't even said the name of it. It's Mato Anomalies. That's the
Mm-hmm.
name of the game. So Mato Anomalies. So that's the name of the game. It's
Ooh.
currently priced at 32.49 pounds, which is quite pricey for what seems to be a niche title.
Mm.
Like, it seems to be something that, I guess the best way to put it is not to be disrespectful to the game, but it seems like something that not a lot of people are going to probably buy or think of like, oh my god, a must have, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope it is the type of game that I can say it's a must-have, because so far the Steam reviews seem to be very positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's also available for PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox. I probably would say the best platform to probably have something like this on would probably be the Switch in that regard, depending on if the frame rate holds up. But I chose to get it on Steam anyway. So it's got Steam achievements, full control support, and cloud save. Languages, it's got support for English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Spain Spanish, Japanese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese. And these are all languages. For the interface and subtitles, with regards to audio, the only audio it has is English, Japanese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese, which kind of makes sense. Those are the markets that, I guess, the biggest markets that they're probably looking to hit. It's a PEGI 12 game, so not for the babies, but still not, I guess, mature enough that you can say, oh, only adults can play this type of game. Performance-wise, what do you need on your PC to run the thing? It doesn't look very visually intense, so I would be surprised if it was a lot. Currently right now I'm seeing here it will run on a AMD, an Intel or AMD quad-core processor with a 2.5 gigahertz or better. I can't remember the last time I used a quad core processor, to be honest. NVIDIA 950 or Radeon RX 460 GPU, which again pretty low end. On the high end, what is the recommended level? It's asking for an AMD quad core again at 3.2 3.0 gigahertz or better, AMD or Intel. and graphics it's looking at a 1060, which is a very entry level GPU, or a Radeon RX 5080. There's no gameplay for the game on the screen right now because as I say, I haven't played it yet. But hopefully by next week I would have had a chance to play it, and I'll be able to show you guys some gameplay on the screen while I talk a bit more about the game and so forth. It does say though that the developer it has a mature content description. It says developer description of the content like this. This game may contain content not appropriate for all ages, or may not be appropriate for viewers at for viewing at work. It says general mature, so I'm not sure what it means by that when it says general mature, but I guess we'll find out when I eventually inevitably play this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, looks cool,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'll check it out at some point in the week. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
what about you? What have you been playing, Roger?
I have been playing Roblox.
Every time you mention to me that you play Roblox, I always get surprised. Continue. Do tell.
Yeah, continue. Fill in. No, seriously, it's kind of interesting. I like a year ago or 2 years ago, if you asked me, I would probably say that I wouldn't play a Roblox game.
Mhm,
Uh, but I did try before that also. I think it
mhm,
was way back in a stream I played with a viewer or something, whatever. That was some easy going game.
mhm,
But what I wanted to say is that it's interesting to see, and now I can only talk for the FPS genre since I don't play so much else, so
mhm,
much other games. Um, but there's a game I remember. I think it was made like a demo already in 2020. But it's a game called Frontlines, an FPS game on Roblox that I went back to. It's kind of funny. I made a video a year ago,
mhm,
and not so many like more, how do you say, established like FPS gamers on YouTube, for example, knew about this.
mhm,
But now I've seen recently quite a few like bigger channels and names have been playing the game, and the reason why is that it
mhm,
looks like a freaking uh, to be released next week on Steam game.
mhm,
It's good looking. It moves and plays like old Call of Duties.
mhm,
As said, modern graphics. It's not like the poly graphics that you used to see on Roblox. This
mhm.
is the real shit, and it plays well, surprisingly, it plays well. I think it's kind
Mhm.
of interesting. I mean, Roblox, as you know, you play a game from your web browser,
Oh.
and it's like no, it's actually really good. It's going to be interesting to see what they continue to do with the game because right now it's not maybe so much incentive to like play a lot for like grinding and unlocking and things like that. But the customization is good.
Mhm,
As said, the visuals, the sounds are good. I think some things are actually working better here
mhm.
than compared to Modern Warfare 2, and I think that
Wow.
says a lot.
It
It's like,
does
hello,
say a lot.
this is a Roblox game, that's a AAA game, but that's another story and maybe another like
Mhm,
conversation. But even so, yeah, it's been fun. I mean, again, I don't play this on a regular basis, but I went in, I checked it out again, and it's I said it's fun to see that you know games on platforms like Roblox or independent games overall
mhm,
can add something to the scene and be an option too. I mean, you talked about specs also. I mean,
mhm,
most likely this can be played on lower spec PCs. And I've checked out some other FPS games. I think I made also a video on my channel sometime. Yeah, that was more than a year ago,
mhm,
where I think I listed 3 or 4 FPS games. I think this might have been one of them
mhm.
that can be worth checking out and fun to play. So yeah, it's cool. I have to say, respect. Indeed. That's
Respect for the
basically
fluff.
the gist of it. I mean, I don't have so much more to say. Apparently, if you want to check it out, it's on Roblox. It's a Peggy 13, but it's cool to see. I mean,
Mhm,
it's been like 15 million plus visits already, and
mhm,
like active, it says 1,447 at the moment here. So that's quite some numbers, I would say. I mean,
mhm,
you can find games, similar games that has been released the like normal way as a business model
mhm.
on Steam or other platforms that are not having those kind of numbers. So okay, cool.
Roblox is quite a popular sort of title because I guess one,
Yes,
it
especially for
appeals.
young people. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It appeals a lot to the younger demographic, kind of like what Minecraft did for the generation before.
True. True.
and so it does appeal to a younger demographic a lot. Visually, they seem to like that visual style quite a lot, and especially the fact that it's free.
Yep,
So those two factors, the visual style and the fact that it's free, and it's got that online social aspect to it, I think a lot of younger
true.
people do hop into Roblox and play it. Right now, me personally, it's not my cup of tea. But I guess I can
It would be
respect.
fun. It would be fun. I will. Sorry, I was interrupting your
Mhm.
sentence right there. So, but I was thinking maybe it would be fun to if you went in there from your perspective of
Mhm.
being like a JRPG player and stuff
Mhm.
like, and see what might be there. I'm not saying that you might find a game like Frontlines in the
Mhm.
FPS genre, but it would be interesting to
See
to
what's
hear a
in
bit
there.
about it from from your experience. I mean, I have mine on the FPS side, and that's what I'm presenting here when it comes to not only decent but good shooter experience as Frontlines can actually provide you.
Mhm.
So who knows? Maybe there is a little something there that might be worth mentioning.
I think my reasoning for not jumping into this is out of fear. I am afraid of the young people, to be honest. No, but on a serious note, I think it's just like when I consider jumping into a game that is mostly dominated by younger people, I just feel uncomfortable because I feel like I've jumped into games before, like FPS and stuff like that, and you sometimes you have chat on and you can hear what they're saying, and when you hear some of the young people talking, it's just sort of I feel really uncomfortable. I'm like, what? Like, good lord, these conversations are so brain numbing to me. It's like, oh god, I need to like sort of like get out of here.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, it's kind of like I was saying to someone the other day that like my brother and I went to a club once here in town, and I'm sure I mentioned it on the show before. And when we
Hmm.
got in there, basically the entire, the majority of people in there were pretty young, and it felt for us, we just felt really uncomfortable. And in the end, we were just like, bro, like we gotta go. Like this is not a place for us. Like we just felt so uncomfortable that we just left in the
Oh
end.
yeah. Okay.
And I think it's the same thing with games like Roblox for me, is that I feel a certain percentage of discomfort, and it's for a lot of games that I find a lot of younger people play. That's how I feel when I go towards such titles, and also again is the multiplayer aspect. Most of the games I play aren't multiplayer as well. They're single player experiences that
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I play by myself, and even when I do play multiplayer, like for example playing eFootball, it is still a solo experience for me most of the time because I'm not talking to my opponent. I'm usually just competing against them,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's about it. So,
Yeah. But what I can say here, though, I haven't really I, to be honest, thought so much about that because
mm,
I mean, when I play these games, there's no one really voice chatting, and
mhm,
it's a bit of typing a bit. And the feeling I get though, at least with Frontlines,
mhm,
is that it's not that young people. It's not like
right,
kids.
mhm,
Well, it can be one or two. That's hard to
mhm,
know, but they feel a bit older. If that makes sense.
mhm.
But I was just curious, and I wanted to mention. I saw that there's actually a guy that made a video like top 28 Roblox RPG games to
Is
play.
it?
Look at that. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Interesting.
have to say, yeah.
You'll have to send me that video. I will.
Yeah, I will do that. I'm doing it actually as we're speaking. So
Yes.
I've just found it. I don't know if it's good or whatever, but I'll definitely send it to you.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. I shall watch this as I have my post podcast cup of tea or something,
Yeah, sounds good.
it
Yeah.
shall be fine.
Hmm.
Um
Yeah.
Speaking of things that shall be fine, I watched the series Kim's Convenience, and I mentioned that it was a good series. I've since
Yeah.
completed it, and I want to say
Oh.
it is a great series up until the final episode. The final
Oh
episode
no.
ends abruptly. You don't get a conclusive ending at season 5. So
Aha.
I just want to warn people. Uh, Probably the best thing to do is watch up till episode, I believe it's 11, season 5, and then imagine that the series goes on forever in your mind or something. Because episode 12, the final episode in season 5, is horrible. Like it ends, it basically just destroys all of the, I guess, the momentum the characters have built up over the seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's just bad. It's a bad episode,
Oh.
and apparently the reason behind it is that the showrunner, the guy who was writing the show, or one of the guys, the primary guy, he left the show for personal reasons without like telling anyone really. In the sense of like he didn't really like confide in the cast and all that kind of stuff, and quite a few of them have been upset about it. But yeah, it just ended abruptly. A lot of the character arcs have not been completed. It's just
Hmm.
sort of like they rushed an ending out of nowhere, and it's an unsatisfying one. So if you want to check out Kim's Convenience, I highly recommend watching it, except the final episode. The final episode is trash. So,
It sounds like I don't know why I got that thought in my mind, but when
mhm.
we watched like Game of Thrones, everything has
Yes.
been so good, do 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 do, do. And then
Mhm.
like last season or the last episodes in the last season at least, it's like do 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 do. Do.
The thing is, you're 100% right. It is exactly like Game of Thrones in that regard. It starts really good, it runs really good throughout the series, and then at the end, it just poops itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's a pity. That's a pity. I mean, of course, granted. I mean, we sometimes we kind of get that feeling a bit also because we have a certain wish for an
mhm.
ending, or we hope for certain things to happen and they don't, and then like you feel a bit empty, even though the actual episode wasn't that bad.
Oh no, it was
But
bad.
but yeah, don't. Ow, I don't suspect anything else here.
Mhm.
Of course, I hear you, and it's good to hear.
Mhm.
No, it's not good to hear, but it's kind of typical though. But it's
Mhm.
I just said it, but in this case, that's what I was getting to. I hear so clearly that
Mhm.
you really felt that they weren't able to knit it together and make like
No.
a good show, or how the good show should end well. Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay, that happened. Mm.
Lame. Lame series. Not with your time. Go find something better to do with yourself. La di da, swiddle, swiddle. What about
Whittle
you, Raj?
swiddle.
What have you been
uh,
watching, Raj?
Something good, something really good. And I did
Mhm.
it again. I think this might have been the third time I watched this movie
Mhm.
through the years since 2000. Because, yeah, this movie is from the millennium, beginning of
Mhm.
the millennium, 2000. It's the Gladiator movie. And
Mhm.
the reason why I rewatched it again was actually because Isaac hasn't watched it. I thought
Mhm.
he had, but he hadn't. Uh, he had not. So we
Mhm.
watched it. We had to split it up due to like late evenings and because it's 2 hours 35 minutes. But
Mhm.
this is still one of the really good movies from this time and
Mhm.
at whatever time. It has an 8.5, sorry,
Mhm.
8.5 on IMDb. Easy, I would say, closer to 9.
Mhm.
Maybe one of it's directed by Ridley Scott, and it's just very good. Russell Crowe is great, maybe one of his best roles ever.
Mhm.
Joaquin Phoenix is also really good as
Mhm.
always. Connie Nielsen, that is his sister. No, I
Mhm.
really like this is a very good movie. I can highly recommend it to anyone out there that has
Mhm.
wants like a good adventure action drama movie
Mhm.
to watch.
Yeah.
So I guess you must have seen Gladiator.
I'm not sure if I
No?
have seen it, to be honest.
Oh, dude, list, put it on the list.
Let me add it there.
Gladiator,
Like,
watch it.
I'm not like as I said, like it's I mean like because there's always like some shows that you watch that you go and you put it on and you start watching it and then you realize, oh, I've seen this before. So like when I
True.
look at this, it looks familiar. Like
Yeah, yeah. Look at that.
I look at the cast, I look at the scenes and the trailer
Mm,
and whatever have you, and I'm like, this looks so familiar. Like I feel like I've seen this
yeah,
before. But then
yeah.
at the same time, if I did see it before, it's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
If I have seen it before, because again, like I'm looking at just screens of it, and this looks very familiar to me.
Mm.
If I'm correct, I think I remember watching this. I'll be honest, in a very poor quality pirated copy back in the day. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe
if
it's
I
time to
did.
look in a good quality pirated copy then.
I love how you just sort of like, yeah, keep it pirate, mate. not even
Yeah.
not even like, a
As
good
long as it's 4K, keep
uh,
it pirate.
4K HD. Where can this for the just so that we can keep face, where can people legally find this? You can find it on Amazon. Of course, Amazon has it for
Yeah,
rent,
yeah, yeah.
starting at £2.49 for us here in the UK. So not too expensive. Apparently, I think it's included in Prime, is it?
Yeah,
It's included in
I
Prime.
think we watched it on Netflix, didn't we? I just have to double check so I'm not
Is it?
talking
I'm seeing
bullshit
it on
here.
Prime. I could watch it right now. I'm listing it on Prime. I think I'll watch it
Uh,
later.
yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix.
Did you guys get
We
it on
watched it.
Netflix?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm. This is along the
yeah.
line of series films like Troy, Braveheart, 300, that
Mm,
kind of stuff.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
Oh,
300 was good. Liked seeing
epic
300.
stuff. Hmm.
Very. These are the kind of manly shows you watch, and after you finish, you feel your chest feeling bigger and manlier. You walk around
Indeed.
with a swagger. You want a lion to randomly attack you in the wilderness so you can fight it.
Something like that.
Something like that. And
The
then you
bravery. Yeah.
then you realize that, wait a minute, that's the characters on the show, and that's not real life, and lions can eat me, and then you're like, oh, holy shit.
Exactly. Hold your horses.
Like, relax, lion, relax. I think I'm seeing it's listed for Netflix as well. Let me see if it's no, it's not listed for Netflix here in the UK, but it's probably in,
Uh-huh.
in other regions because Netflix does have it is highlighted with a net subscription, but when I
Yes.
select it, it says not available. Is it, sorry, not available in the region, or is it not available on my browser? 'Cause I think this browser does not
Because it
run.
was available here in Sweden. Yeah, I'm 99% sure we watched it on Netflix. So
Let me see. It is on Netflix as well. Yes, loaded. It's just the
yeah.
browser. The browser I was on doesn't support
Aha,
it.
okay. Yeah, that could be a thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I think it's because I was using Brave, and Brave has like all these ad blockers and stuff.
True,
So
true. It's good. It's a good browser. I've been using it myself for quite some time, but it can trick you a bit due to exactly what you mentioned, the blockers. So you gotta check that if you having any problems
yes,
like that.
yes. I have found myself using Edge a lot though. Microsoft's
Uh-huh.
browser Edge, it has gotten so good. It's actually, to a certain extent, it is better than, well, not even a certain, it is better than Chrome. Like it's like a better version of Chrome, I find. And so
Mm.
I've been using Edge a lot, and a lot of pretty much everything that works in Chrome works well in Edge. So
Yeah, that's good.
phew, it even looks, some of it even looks better in Edge. Like, for example, Google Docs looks better in Edge for some reason. I'm not sure why,
Yeah, right.
but yeah, it's a better experience anyway. So
Hmm.
Raj, how about we get out of here? How about we?
Yeah, sure. But before that, don't you think?
That's the thing that we usually do right about now, isn't it? What's that thing
Yeah.
called?
Shout out for a podcast.
Or shout out for your channel.
True.
Have I been partaking in anything this week that because I know I've been watching some new YouTube channels this week.
Okay.
There was one channel I stumbled across. I do actually want to shout out this channel, but I need to find my subscriptions because I subscribed to it this week, and it's essentially, I think it's a JRPG channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have a lot of subscribers. I think it's probably down to about maybe 300 and some subscribers or something. It's quite new essentially, but the guy who's doing it has been doing he's you can, that sort of like that new spark that new channels have, like the
Yeah, yeah,
enthusiasm and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what this channel had. It's like
yeah.
it's very new and enthusiastic and fun, and I was like, this is pretty cool. But I don't remember what the channel is called, to be honest, unfortunately, and I'm
Well,
sure
save it until next time then. We can
we
make
can
a
save it till next time, indeed. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh well. Sorry to whoever you are, person that didn't even know I was gonna shout you out today, but I've
Exactly.
forgotten your channel because it's gotten lost in my subs, and YouTube doesn't seem to let me know when
Nah, it's not that easy to be honest either. It's
it doesn't organize it that according to like when
no.
you subscribe to channels. I think that should have an option like set like search for the channels that I have recently followed. That would be great. So
Exactly. It would help.
it would indeed.
Yeah. But
So Mhm.
Yeah, well, then I guess I should then say my things here,
Mhm.
kind of towards the end. It could be
Mhm.
good before we call it a day. So thanks for listening, beautiful guys out there. I hope you're gonna have a good week, and I hope you got some good tips. If you want to go look at or check out that good movie, it's Gladiator once more, and it should be available on Netflix. You said Amazon too, right?
Amazon
For
Prime
to
has it as well, so if you have Prime, you
Yeah,
can get
good.
it on there as well.
Oh, good. Sounds good. And with that said, just stay healthy and yeah, have a good one. Muffin and out.
Ah, beautiful as always. So, with that, thank you very, very, very much to those of you who have been sticking around for this goodness. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful time. Um, looking forward to the next episode, and looking forward to also, you know, rested my throat as I sip on some tea after the post podcast lubblers. But with that, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. As always, many you can basically find Rog pretty much everywhere. 40 Splash, that's the number 40 with SPLISH. He streams on a Wednesday, a Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Sunday, correct?
Super correct.
Oof, got it correct. Yes, beautiful. You can find him. You can find me at LB Garden. This guy and to you. Um. Oh wait, before I mention me, Raj. Remind the people where they can get your music again.
True. If you want to check out my music on YouTube,
Mhm.
it's BB Music. BEEBEE Music.
The good stuff. I've been popping in every now and then, just playing some music in the background, as I chill.
It's nice.
Very nice. You can find me at LB Garden. It's Garden Delta U. And you can also find me at Simply Binge streaming, on a Monday and a Thursday. I have not streamed for like 2 weeks now. Yeah, I've been off the streaming thing. I've just been busy with other stuff. Hopefully, I can get back on the horse. Hopefully, tomorrow I'll be able to hop on and stream something. Maybe the game that I spoke about today. Who knows? So yes, la di da,
You.
swiddle swiddle. So with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of that Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and elsewhere. And simplybinge.com, sorry, and elsewhere. And we're so confident they're gonna like it that we're giving it for free. So as always, guys, this has been Q'd. Your pleasure, and it's a wrap. That